And do you have any limits when it comes to gore? Is there anything for you that you're like, no, I'm not touching that?
Well, for my own personal writing, no. I said to myself when I sat down to write Jane Doe, which was my first extreme horror novella,
Yeah.
I said, I'm not going to touch children. And I've managed to kill, I think, 7 in the first book. No, I don't. When I'm writing, my extreme horror isn't as gross out as some other people's. I tend not to talk at length about bodily fluids. I feel there's a difference between extreme horror and gross horror. But no, there really aren't any limits for what I'll write. As far as films go, I can't stand seeing teeth or nails for some reason. They
Really?
turns my stomach. But aside from that, no, I really don't have any limits. But no, I don't write a lot of really gross stuff. I don't write huge amounts about. I've read some stuff where people talk page on page about puke, and
Yeah.
no, I don't write stuff like that.
The thing is, you get
I,
numb to it after a while. So everything in moderation, I think. Or throw
yeah,
in some other fluids. Let's have a cocktail.
no, I don't think if you start putting limits on what you're writing, you're limiting your own creative process because you never know what your characters are going to end up doing.
Mm.
I do generally know where my characters are going to go when I start, but they always go off at a
Yeah.
tangent at some point.
Yep. The worst ones is when you realize the character you're writing about isn't the most interesting character and you have to go back and rewrite it and
God,
fix
yeah.
it.
I don't like
Yeah.
rewriting my work. I don't like the editing process.
Oh, I despise editing.